There are moments in history when a leader's words cut through the noise and expose the truth. Nelson Mandela, a man who fought oppression his entire life, did not mince words when it came to Israel's occupation of Palestinian land. He stood firm, declaring that Israel had no right to retain territories it had conquered from the Arab world. His message was clear, powerful, and undeniable. But why is this part of his legacy rarely discussed? Why do world leaders cherry-pick Mandela's words, ignoring his stance on Palestine? Today, we bring you the truth they do not want you to hear. Mandela's stance was bold. He made it clear. We do not mean that Israel has the right to retain the territories they conquered from the Arab world like the Gaza Strip, the Golan Heights, and the West Bank. We don't agree with that. Those territories should be returned to the Arab people. This statement alone destroys the Israeli narrative that these lands were theirs to keep. It was a direct rejection of occupation, a stand against colonialism, and a call for justice. Yet, Western governments and Israeli officials continue to erase these words, fearing the impact they could have on global discourse. Mandela was not speaking in isolation. His words were backed by decades of struggle against apartheid, a system that mirrored what we see in Palestine today. The forced removals, the checkpoints, the second-class treatment of an entire people, he recognized it for what it was. South Africa itself has drawn direct parallels between its past and Israel's present. In fact, multiple South African leaders have declared that what Israel is doing to Palestinians is worse than apartheid. And yet, Israel continues its oppression, shielded by Western powers who refuse to acknowledge the truth. When Mandela fought against apartheid, he was labeled a terrorist by the same governments that now glorify him. The United States and the United Kingdom only removed his name from their terrorist watch lists in 2008, long after he became a global icon. This hypocrisy continues today. Those who stand against Israeli occupation are smeared, silenced, and attacked, just as Mandela was. But history remembers the truth. Just as South Africa was freed, Palestine will be free. Mandela also said something else, something that exposes the nature of political betrayal. For anybody which changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation. This was a warning. He was telling the world that true leaders do not compromise on justice. And yet, look at today's world leaders. They speak of human rights, but turn a blind eye to Israel's war crimes. They call for democracy, but ignore apartheid. They claim to support peace, but send weapons to fuel occupation. Netanyahu and his government are the embodiment of what Mandela warned against. Leaders who thrive on deception, oppression, and changing principles when it suits their agenda. Nelson Mandela's words have been buried, ignored, and erased from the mainstream. But we cannot allow history to be rewritten. The fight against apartheid in South Africa was won through global pressure, boycotts, and unwavering resistance. The same must happen for Palestine. It is up to us to spread the truth, to remind the world that Israel has no right to occupied land, because Mandela said it, and history proves it. Do you think the world will finally listen? Or will they continue to ignore Mandela's words? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you stand for justice, share this message so more people hear the truth.